to this episode of Quest for Life. I'm Paloma. In this episode, we're going to talk about important breastfeeding things. Throughout my pregnancy, I didn't know there was so much about breastfeeding. There's so much that I'm learning and so many challenges that I have overcome, and that is why I wanted to make this video, because I know how hard it can be, especially postpartum, the first few days. Whether you're a new mom that has just had her baby, congratulations, or if you are expecting and your baby's not here yet, do not lose hope. You are strong. You can do this. You're a great mama, and I hope that this information in this video will be beneficial to you. My little baby is 7 weeks and 5 days now, so it's been quite the journey. I've learned so much. We've had lots of problems. I've gone through mastitis on both breasts, through engorgement, through sickness, through fever, through what I think is thrush, just painful things. Even now at 7 weeks, it's way better than it was in the beginning, but there's still some challenges. But I've just been doing my best to fight through, and that is why I wanted to share the most important things that I have learned about breastfeeding. So the first important thing about breastfeeding is the right resources. I felt like I wasted so much time online just trying to look for articles, for videos, trying to get a sense of things. I know how confusing it can feel to try to understand breastfeeding, and if you're doing it right, and if your baby's eating enough, and just there's so much about it. The best resource that I found is thepumpstation.com. The Pump Station has 2 locations, one in Hollywood and one in Santa Monica, but in their website, if you go to the breastfeeding tab, and under that it says breastfeeding help, and if you click on that, there's lots of articles that cover, one second. So under that section, you'll see lots of important articles, very helpful articles on mastitis, thrush, engorgement, and a lot more. And that information is just pure gold. It's so good, so beneficial. There's also videos on there that I found really helpful. The next thing I wish I knew about breastfeeding is to take advantage of the help that hospitals have to offer after you give birth. So after you give birth, there are lactation consultants available. I know that I saw quite a few of them after I delivered my baby, and they are there to help you. So make sure you request a lactation consultant right after you give birth when you're in your room that first day, the day after. The help that lactation consultants give is really important, but often they just kind of do it for you, latch on the baby and explain a little bit, but it is so important to just ask so many questions. Let them talk you through everything, like how to hold the baby, how to hold your breast, how their mouth should be, what are signs that things are going wrong, how to prevent things, what kind of things are normal and what is not normal, rather than just have them do it for you. And if that's what they're doing, ask those questions. Let them guide you through every little step, no matter how dumb. There is no dumb questions. You really need to know how to do everything so that things can go well for you. Practice a lot. Have them guide you through everything. Next thing, engorgement. Engorgement is a natural thing. Do not get scared. Engorgement is not a sign that things are going wrong or that you won't be able to breastfeed. Engorgement is totally normal. Before giving birth, I had no idea about engorgement, and it really terrified me, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to breastfeed and feed my baby. And I want to share ways that you can help that engorgement. First thing, that's a cheap thing, is to take just a simple hand towel and wet it with hot water and put that on your breasts before you nurse and after you nurse, and just press it on your breast for a few minutes until the hotness goes away. And this is going to help relieve the engorgement. It's going to help swelling go down, and it's going to help milk keep flowing for your baby. You don't have to follow this perfectly, but as best as you can. If you want to buy something, there are some things from lansinoh that you could buy that could provide some relief. There's some little relief pads that you place on your nipple after feedings called Soothies. I'll place a link in the description video below, and a lot of people say that it helps them, so that's something that you can look into. There's also these 3-in-1 gel therapy things that you place on your whole breast. The thing I like about those is that you can use them both ways, so you can freeze them and then in between feedings use it as a cold compress. That also helps engorgement. You could also place them in the microwave and then put them in a protective cloth thing. Then you put it on your breast, and it provides relief from engorgement and mastitis if you do have that. What was also recommended to me to relieve engorgement is if you have a little manual pump or an electric pump. Make sure you talk to your doctor or lactation consultant on how best to go about this depending on your situation. But even pumping a little bit before feeding your baby, just enough to relieve the pressure of engorgement, can also help. There's support available Also at the pump station, you can call their number and ask questions for free about breastfeeding, about problems you may have. It's normal to have challenges. It's okay. Lots of people go through this, so it's important to join a support group. Find out where there is one. There might be one in your hospital. I know there are some at the pump station in Santa Monica and Hollywood if you live in the LA area. If not, there's probably some support groups from La Leche League. You can go on their website and find out where there is one. Another thing I wish I knew about breastfeeding is how to get a pump. The most common way to get a pump is through your insurance that you already have. More than likely, they will provide you with a basic electric pump like Medela pump and style. You'll be able to get a pump if you find out you have some problems early on while you're at the hospital. So it's also important to ask those questions and figure out if there's anything wrong so you can see if you can get a pump while you're at the hospital. Another way to get a pump if you don't have insurance and you're low income is the program Women, Infants, and Children. Different states have this program. This program can offer help and can offer a manual pump or an electric pump depending on your situation. Another thing I also wish I knew about before giving birth is mastitis. Mastitis doesn't have to stop you from breastfeeding. It is possible to get healed and continue breastfeeding even through that illness. I know when I first got it, I was like, oh my gosh, I was completely terrified. I thought I was not going to be able to feed my baby. I thought I would not produce enough milk. I just want to say that it is possible, and I want to share how you can know that you do have it and what to do. The way to know that you have mastitis is if you get a fever. If you wake up and you have a fever and you have chills and your temperature is over 101.2 degrees, then you definitely have mastitis and you need to go to the doctor right away to get checked out. They will probably put you on antibiotics if they see that the mastitis is a little severe or you're definitely infected. You will get on antibiotics to kill it off, but it's okay, don't worry. You can get through that. You can continue making milk and you can continue breastfeeding. I'm back with my baby. Drink lots of fluid, drink lots of fruit, and try to avoid sugar. It could make thrush happen and you don't want that. So stick to lots of fruit and lots of water. It's also really important to not stress. Try to relax and have people help you, your partner, your family. If you feel that the breast is too painful to breastfeed on, the one that you have mastitis, that's okay. You can continue feeding from the other breast. Just try to pump the breast that is painful so you can continue getting out the infection and making sure that no milk gets clogged up in there that can cause more infection. Before I gave birth, I got my breast friend pillow, and I'm so glad I did. That's another thing I wish I knew, that comfort is so very, very important when you're breastfeeding. Make sure you have a breastfeeding pillow because it is a huge difference. I will say it's not a luxury, it's actually a necessity.